because Muntaha sent me a message and he said that we need to talk about Modric because he feels that Modric has been slightly disrespected and not been appreciated more. So, as a final topic, this is is Modric underappreciated or is he overrated? How valuable was he to Real Madrid's unprecedented 3 Champions League run? So I'll set things off here. People need to understand what a central midfielder is. A central midfielder is not a goal scorer. Doesn't score 6-7 goals. And when I do the football hot, I believe I'm talking to people who are hardcore football fans. People who are casual football fans, I'm not talking to you. You know, people who are just casual fans who just watch it and just do it because it's cool and just do the little bobs and just actually watch the game. This isn't. I don't really speak towards you. I mean, thank you for watching my thing, great. But my chance really for hardcore football fans. Modric is a central midfielder, and I always say this to people that the structure. If you think of a football team like a building structure, the very structure of a team is a central midfield. If the central midfielder doesn't work, your team doesn't work. So this guy may score 6, 7, 8 goals. If that central midfielder doesn't work within the entirety of a 90 minutes game, that striker isn't going to get those chances. And I've always said that Toni Kroos, I believe, is overrated. He's good. Toni Kroos is good, but he's overrated. Modric is that midfield. Toni Kroos is there to help supplement Modric. But the guy who is breaking the line, joining the attack, running forward with the ball, turning the midfield into attack is Modric. Kroos is the guy that just keeps the midfield intact. But Modric is the guy who really makes the midfield much more three-dimensional. So when people say, "Oh, why did he win the Ballon d'Or? It should have been Cristiano. It should have been Messi. It should have been this. It should have been that." You're not carefully watching what this guy does. What that guy did in that second half against Liverpool in 2018, he took over the entire game. So let me give the floor to Muntaha before I give everyone else. So Muntaha, just give me your thoughts on Modric and why you feel he's important.
Bro, first of all, I'll just give you one, there's so many aspects of Modric. This guy, as a CM, name me in last decade, name me a center midfielder, box to box, I mean, comes deep, comes to the right back position. Temporarily, he's a right back for you for a second or 5 in a game. He receives the ball from a defender, carried the ball by dribbling 2 players vertically, closer to the flipping, to the second, to the final third of the opposition box, and then dictate the game. Name me a midfielder. I haven't seen you can come arguing with me, come with the Iniesta. Iniesta never used to drop so deep. At time there was Busquets who used to come and help me out. With Casemiro was never good at the ball compared to the level of Busquets. So even Modric, I haven't seen a center box-to-box player, midfielder. Even at the Spurs days, bro, he helped Spurs to reach to the Champions League, qualified for the first time in their history. Correct me if I'm wrong. Bro, with Modric, Bale used to excel on the left flank. Bro, if you see, there's one stat. I understand stats are overrated at times. One stat, Modric missed that Juventus fixture. And that season, when Modric missed in 14-15 Juventus fixture, we lost to Juventus. And when he played against Barcelona, we dominated Barcelona that season. Peak MSN era, prime MSN era. Okay? Just imagine if this guy would have played that thing against Juventus and we were so close. We were missing the presence of Modric. Bro, his visions, bro, at times people say Toni Kroos, he's a deep line midfielder. He has a, vision. He can dictate the show. Bro, Modric, even he has that ability as well. It's so underrated. And the Ancelotti, what Modric used to do, Ozil used to play attacking midfielder. Modric used to come back and used to dictate the show. Bro, this guy for me is one of the most, for me, I'll rate him, top 10 midfielder of all time. I might be a bit biased. Yeah, bro. I might be biased, bro. Look, I might be biased, but if you see, his contribution for this team, Real Madrid, bro, just imagine if he would be fit in that season, bro. I'm telling you, we are winning 5 in a row. At least we are reaching to final, bro. 5 times in a final. Are you kidding me, bro? This is Cristiano fanboys' agenda. Let me be honest, bro. The way they portray Xavi, Iniesta, look, Messi played with Xavi and Iniesta, so they helped Messi a lot. But when it comes to Cristiano, oh no, there is nobody. Or Modric is not at the level of Xavi or Iniesta. The way they come and set up this argument, bro, you have to understand, bro. Modric never gets that respect, bro. What he deserves, to be honest, bro.
Okay. Jujuman, thoughts on this? Does Modric get enough respect? Is he disrespected, underrated? What were your thoughts?
I think he gets enough credit, but no, like the problem is I understand now why some Madrid fans are unhappy with Ronaldo fanboys because they try and make everything sound about as if Ronaldo did it by himself, but with Modric, I think the Ballon d'Or was deserved 100% Modric. It was deserved for the three-peat because if Modric wasn't.
Jujuman, weren't you the one that said Modric didn't deserve the Ballon d'Or?
No, I stayed away from the CR7 fanboys, but what's it called? Modric deserved that Ballon d'Or. If anyone says otherwise, then I'm not sure they were watching because that three-peat, like Modric was, like you mentioned, you mentioned the second half against Liverpool. Also remember the second half against Juventus. That was Modric was really good at that second half, and like
Yes,
I'm happy he got that Ballon d'Or because this guy was about to go without getting credit for that three-peat, and I think he deserved it. He deserved it, and he gets enough credit. I don't. Anyone that doesn't rate him, probably they don't know the sport that well because he's a great player. He's a great player.
Okay. Ford.
Yeah, for me, I feel like he's rated about quite fairly. I mean, I don't really pay too much attention to football Abbey Twitter with their genders on Messi or Cristiano, but like for me, he's a top talent, one of the best midfielders of all time. Certainly one of the best of his generation, if not the best. I remember him from his days in Dynamo Zagreb when I mean he had like a Champions League game against Arsenal. I remember at like 17 or 18 years old, he was just balling out, and the guy was just a fantastic player. You could see it from there; the talent was there. And what really helped him in terms of being like a very progressive midfielder, as Montaha was alluding to earlier, was because he was actually like an attacking midfielder. So he's always very pressure resistant, very good at dribbling, picking up, making those passes. But it was when he moved to Real Madrid and he kind of transitioned into being more of like an all-round centre mid. He could do it all. His defending was quite good. He's decent in 50-50 tackles. His position is pretty decent. Where he excels is taking the ball and being able to progress it and find an eye for a pass, be very pressure resistant and not lose the ball very easily. I feel like that's what really has helped him and helped that Real Madrid team. And for me, when you look at in terms of who was the main influences in that dynasty that Real Madrid created, I feel like Ronaldo's probably number one, but I feel like Modric is probably on par, if not second or worst third, alongside Sergio Ramos, obviously all his clutch moments. But I think Sergio Ramos wasn't always very consistent defensively. Real Madrid were quite leaky at the back at times. Certainly he turned up in big games, but I feel like Modric was always like a mainstay in terms of producing a certain kind of excellence in his performances. I feel like many times against Bayern Munich, obviously a Liverpool second half as well, many games where he's always produced and he's always been able to really control the midfield for Real Madrid and make a massive difference. So again, I don't know what football fans are seeing if you're not seeing Real Madrid if you're not seeing Modric as an excellent player of his time and a massive influence in that dynasty that Real Madrid created. So for me, Montaha was right when he said he's a top 10 midfielder of all time. I would definitely agree. He's a top 10 midfielder of all time, no doubt. As a legacy, I'm glad he got that Ballon d'Or. And I think it was only people like LG, or as you guys call him, FG, was talking about how he didn't deserve to win a Ballon d'Or. He absolutely deserved to win a Ballon d'Or, especially ahead of Cristiano. So, he gets his due credit. He's a fantastic midfielder. Nothing else should be said about it. Anybody saying he's overrated is talking nonsense.
And to add, like there are two players, I've seen that are able to beat that Liverpool press, Neymar and Modric. I mean, just the two. Few players can beat, but Neymar and Modric can beat that Liverpool press.
And to that point, how many midfielders are you going to be that you could find who ever do that? And very rare that anybody can do that. And Modric has that unique ability to be able to beat the press from midfield, which is a very special talent. So definitely one of the best of all time.
All right, hardcore Modric.
Yeah, I think he's currently. I think he's the best midfielder in the world right now. I'll tell you why. I don't know why he's so underappreciated. And I have a Liverpool friend who literally told me that James Milner is better than Luka Modric, and I
don't know what friends you have, but that's a bit much.
He's totally deluded. But what I will say is he's such an amazing midfielder. I've watched this guy, what he's done with the Croatian team taking them to the finals. That's an amazing, amazing achievement. They got beaten by the better side, which, to be honest with you, I can understand. And I just feel like for Modric, during his Tottenham days, I think his best Tottenham days was in 2010. You know, where I think he qualified for the Champions League with Tottenham. And like I said, I think he's just a tremendous player all around. He can play attack. He can control the midfield. He can do a lot of things. And I just feel like the amount of trophies he's won, the experience that he's had in the past 6 or 7 years makes him the best midfielder in the world right now. You know, I'm trying to say, I don't know if you can say the same to how I said some of the Barcelona players, such as a Arthur Melo, because some people rate Arthur Melo over Toni Kroos. Some people rate Arthur Melo over Modric, and to me, that's totally insane. You know, totally deluded. But for me, I think Modric to me is a way better midfielder. Although I won't count Arthur Melo out because he won the Copa America and he proved to me by his evidence. And if you prove to me by evidence by one international trophy, that to me tells me that, you know what, you are one of the best midfielders in the world. So yeah, that's all I got.
Okay. Abdullah Kiban, Modric, thoughts?
Wow. Modric is a very good player, very central midfielder, very good. If you go back to the days of Tottenham Hotspur when he was playing with Tottenham, he was playing with Gareth Bale. We all know he was a good player because that was when Chelsea wanted to buy him. Then when Daniel Levy was like, I'm not going to sell it to Chelsea, I'm not going to blah, blah, blah stuff. He's a very good player. Wonderful player. He's a very good player. People need to appreciate him more a lot. We just say because Real Madrid won the Champions League.
Would you put him above Iniesta and Xavi? Would you put him above Iniesta and Xavi?
You mean Luka Modric?
Yeah.
Absolutely, I will. Yeah,
over
because
Xavi and Iniesta? Yeah,
because if you look at the impact he has made in Real Madrid, I will surely put him there. Yes, because if you look at the impact very well, from Tottenham to Real Madrid now, I will put him there because people keep saying because Real Madrid won 3 Champions League. We need to go back to the Champions League they won. Who is the key factor there? Take out Cristiano Ronaldo. Take it out. Who is the key factor there? Is Luka Modric. Luka Modric is the key factor there winning that Champions League. Because apart from Sergio Ramos, who is the defender, Luka Modric is the pivotal in the midfield. If he doesn't play, Madrid are in trouble. Okay, take out Luka Modric out of the team. Who do you want to put there that's going to play for them? Who? Nobody. Casemiro, okay. Toni Kroos, who again? No one. So that he is a very good player because he has shown time over time again that he is a very good player. And people say he doesn't deserve the Ballon d'Or. 2018, Croatia was the second team when France won the World Cup. So Luka Modric was the best player there. So I don't see why people saying he doesn't deserve the Ballon d'Or.
Okay. I mean, but a lot of Barca fans will be raising their eyebrows. We put him above.
No. Lionel Messi didn't do anything in the World Cup. Cristiano Ronaldo didn't do anything in the World Cup. So possibly he has to go to Luka Modric. He has to go there. There's no doubt in him. He has to go.
Okay, all right. Red, Modric.
Oh man, HH. What can I say about this player? I said in the first hangout of the season that for the 3P, it's Ronaldo in attack, Modric in midfield, and Ramos in defense. Modric, first of all, just to remind you, the most important goal in Real Madrid history is that Decima's last-minute header for Sergio Ramos. Mm-hmm. Who assisted him on that? Who delivered on that from that corner?
It was Modric. Yeah, Modric.
Bro,
yeah.
2017 against Juve in the final, where in the big game, the second half, who turned up clutch and even got an assist? And I think Ronaldo got the man of the match. I think that one. Who turned up clutch in that second half and got Ronaldo that assist in that last in his second goal? It was
the overhead kick.
No, not the overhead. I'm talking about 17, the final, when we won 4-1. Luka Modric turned up in that final in the second half and completely dominated that game.
Exactly, yeah.
And then in 2018, in the final against Liverpool, in the second half, who was man of the match during the whole match? Luka Modric. We're talking about a big game player. This guy for every big game, whether it was El Clasico, whether it was in the Champions League, he would always turn up. He was never a liability. He always did his dues, whether it's defensively, attacking. He would do it all. And aside from that, if we want to talk about Motaha mentioned it, the 2015 Champions League when we got eliminated by Juve, Modric was injured. He was the only one missing from our starting 11, and we couldn't break through Juve. Like and if you've seen the following 2 years playing Juve, we were able to dominate because we had Modric. We were able to win because he helped us. So absolutely a vital player. And I highly recommend for everybody that's listening to this, there's a compilation of Modric just no touch football where he just dummy players and there'd always be like Casemiro Cruz behind him to receive the ball. And he wouldn't even touch it just by his movement, the way he reads the game. This guy's a genius. And finally, he led a nation that's barely 20 years old of 3.5 million people to a World Cup final. That is insane. That is like you'll never see that again. We'll probably never see Croatia in our lifetime in the finals again. It's just to show you like this Croatian golden generation, and the fact that Modric was the best player on that Croatian team just is a testament to his quality. So yeah, man, Luka Modric, well deserved Ballon d'Or for last year, and he is definitely for me. He's top 10, and I wouldn't rate him above Iniesta, but I'll put him ahead of Xavi. So if I'm gonna go Iniesta, Modric, Xavi.
All right, Ahmed, Modric.
Well, I think that he got the Ballon d'Or, so that's somewhat respect. But I think some people don't respect him, and some people they say he doesn't deserve the Ballon d'Or. But I think that's more of the attacking bias that exists now, because it's a lot easier to say, oh, Ronaldo scored this many goals or Salah broke the Premier League record. But I think it's absurd to say anyone besides Modric deserved the Ballon d'Or, not just for the great season he had with Real Madrid, but obviously what he did with Croatia, which I think was very impressive, and I don't think it'll ever happen again. And what Muntaha and Red said, I think they said it enough about how crucial he was to the four Champion Leagues in the last 5 years. And I think Modric is maybe I'm a little bit biased, but I think he should be top 10 midfielders of all time.